I am your host, Dr. Soyla Quesada, and this is Two Kids, One Doctorate. Yes, let's talk validation. How important is external validation, and how important is internal validation? It feels nice. It does when someone validates you, your existence, your value, your worth, your effort, validates your skills, all of that. It's cute. It feels nice and cozy and fuzzy. But you know what's more important is having a strong sense of self-worth, knowing your value, understanding your skills and how valuable they are to the workplace and to your personal life as well. Loving yourself enough to validate yourself. Because guess what? If you wait for external validation and external validation never comes, what are you going to do? Sit around and wait for someone to validate you and your value, your worth, your awesomeness? No. We must work on our internal validation so that when we are validated externally, we receive it, we're grateful for it, we are so thankful that someone is acknowledging it. But we cannot wait for that to happen. Like, we have to understand our value and validate ourselves, because guess what? You're already certified. You're already validated. You just have to stand strong on that, believe it, and live it. And how do you practice self-validation? Let's begin with self-criticism. Not the doing of it, but the regulating of it. Be aware of your self-criticism and what you're telling yourself, because words matter, and what you tell yourself you will believe, and once you believe it, your words are just repeating what your beliefs are already. And those negative beliefs about self, or sort of having this negative self-criticism towards self, is not good, it's not healthy, and it's not helping with the validation that you need. Remember, the self-validation is going to take some work, and it's going to take some practice. Validate your experiences. Your experiences and perceptions are valid. Trust yourself, trust your judgment, and also recognize your emotions and the reactions to that. Because these are responses to, your circumstances and experiences. Validate your experiences. Tell yourself, you know what, these things are valid. I'm feeling this way because, and explain to yourself the reasons, because those things are valid. Focus on your strengths. Acknowledge and celebrate your strengths, your talents, everything you've achieved. Remind yourself, do you know what I do or did? I don't practice this anymore because now it's become a natural practice. Once you practice this enough, your brain then naturally does it for you. So I've been focusing on my strengths. I make lists and I say, these are my strengths. This is what I can bring to places and spaces that I decide to join or to be part of. Focus on your strengths, because the world will always focus on your weaknesses. And if you're already practicing self-awareness, you should already be aware what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. So focus on your strengths for a bit until you become so aware what your strengths are that you're already validating yourself. You understand who you are, what you bring to the table, and you're practicing validation. Practice mindfulness, mindfulness, self-awareness. Practice being present. Practice understanding who you are. Practice knowing who you are. Understanding and knowing. Practice challenging yourself. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself on your self-belief. Challenge yourself on your self-esteem. Do you have a healthy self-esteem? Is it too low? Is that reflecting in the workplace? If you don't validate who you are, what you do, and what you provide to spaces and places, no one's going to do that for you. You might find a few people that might begin to validate you, but if I may add, when that used to happen to me and I used to be validated by others, I didn't believe it. I'd be like, thank you, but did I really truly believe it? Did I mean to say thank you? Did I really mean it? Because I wasn't even believing what they were saying. But when I started to look inward, started to analyze who I was and who I am and my uniqueness, I began to validate me as a person, me as a human, my existence and my gifts. And when you validate yourself, everything else that comes after that, the external validation, is an amazing add-on, but it's not what validates you, right? Remember, you're already certified. You're already validated, but you have to believe it. So practice, practice, practice. And I promise you, within a few weeks, you will be so good at self-validating yourself that there's nothing that's going to stop you from continuing to build your self-esteem and your confidence. And remember, you're listening to Two Kids, One Doctorate, and I am your host, Dr. Soyla Casada, and I use this space to tell stories and to also use my life experiences to motivate you, inspire you to be the best you can be, because guess what? You can.